Hi everyone, I am Dr.KK Kaviarasu, Assistant Professor of English, Vivekananda College, Kanniyakumari. This is my seminar presentation for the Faculty Induction program organized by the UGC-HRDC of Aligarh Muslim University. My presentation today is on one of the poems of Rabindranath Tagore titled Where the Mind is Without Fear, selected from the reading material Food for Thought. The presentation is structured in such a way that in the stipulated 10 minutes, it introduces the author and the background of the poem, followed by the structure and analysis of the poem leading to the summation. The author of the poem, Rabindranath Tagore, is not only a poet but also a musician, a novelist, a playwright, and a painter. No doubt, he is one of the greatest minds of India. In fact, he was the first Asian to win a Nobel Prize and the first non-European to win a Nobel Literature Prize in 1913 for his collection Gitanjali and for his profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful verse by which, with consummate skill, he has made his poetic thought expressed in his own English words a part of a literature of the West. Tagore invested his Nobel Prize money in constructing Vishwabharati, a school in Shantiniketan, which was elevated into a university that had a lasting impact and pedagogy. Shantiniketan engaged many scholars from across the world. Rabindranath Tagore was knighted by the British in 1915, but he denounced his knighthood in 1990 in protest of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, in which many innocent Indians were brutally murdered by the British. In 1940, the University of Oxford conferred Tagore with an honorary doctorate for his numerous achievements. To add more to his accolades, he is the only person whose songs are used as national anthem for not one but three countries: India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. This fearless, daring personality did exhibit his fear in the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear. Tracing the background of the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, it is evident that the poem was written during the period when India was struggling for freedom from the British rule. This song number 35 in Gitanjali is originally song number 72 of Rabindranath's poetical work Naivedya, published in Bengali during 1908. This poem, originally titled Pratana in Bengali, means a prayer. The poem has no title in English version, where the first line of the poem has been used as its title. In his prayer, Tagore says that his countrymen should not live in fear anymore and must do away with the evils of society. He also pleads that they must live with respect, dignity, honesty, and perfection. He further prays to God for the freedom of his beloved nation. The poem is well wrought. Let us inspect it. The beautiful lines goes like this. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sands of dead habits, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into the heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. This simple poem has an unique structure in it. The poem has written in one single sentence, and there is no regular rhythm or rhyme schemes as the poem is written in free verse. Though the language is very simple, metaphor and personification has been employed in a few parts of the poem. The key to the prayer is provided in the last line of the poem. Fear, fear, fear. Nelson Mandela, the first president of South Africa, rightly said, I quote, "The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear," I unquote. Yes, Tagore in his poem tries to conquer the fear. Fear in this poem refers to the fear inculcated in the minds of Indians under the British rule. The poet picturizes the miserable life led by people dominated by the British. The untold sufferings have sown fear in them. Freedom was the only solution to get rid of the fear. People in India took various modes like violence and ahimsa to attain the destiny of freedom, where Tagore takes a unique and different path towards freedom through his prayers. The poet envisions that freedom can be attained only when the mind is fearless. He also presumes that gaining independence alone would give them the freedom to acquire knowledge and be self-radiant. Tagore makes a special mention to the narrow domestic walls, which refers to the walls of religion, caste, race, and creed created by people. The British used the divide and rule policy by creating rivalries among different sections of the society, and thus they strengthened this wall too. The poet expects his countrymen to live their lives with honesty and utmost truth. He emphasizes that the thought of people would be clear, noble, honest, and free from all sorts of corruption, and words should come out from the depth of truth. The poet uses metaphor for reason and habit. He refers to reason as a clear stream, and the act of tireless striving is also personified. Tagore is happy about the untiring hard work of his people. In the last three lines, the poet prays the Almighty for his guidance and support for independence. He refers to freedom as a heavenly abode and addresses God as Father, asking him to awaken his people and help them reach the glorious home. Through this poem, Tagore also gives an idea about the kind of life the people led during the British rule. Thematically, the poem is patriotic in nature and projects the hard work and determination that leads the people towards freedom. During the struggle for independence, the poet reveals that he envisions a country where there is no fear in the mind of people and education is attained by all. To sum up, according to the poet, true freedom is an inner possession of man, and it can be realized only with God's help. He also prays to God, seeking his guidance in attaining independence and awakening his countrymen. His prayers are powerful and are answered with the independence. Thank you.